Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Michelle is my name. If it's your first time here, hi, welcome. I am a fairly new makeup YouTuber. I'm a fairly new YouTuber who does makeup videos, a bit of skincare videos, a little bit of travel vlogs which will hopefully come up soon, and I talk about my faith. In today's video, I'm doing this no makeup look, and I really hope you enjoy it, and I really hope you stay and subscribe and like my videos and let me know what you'd like to see. I still don't have my schedule figured out yet because, like I said, I'm fairly new, so I hope that you bear with me. And yeah, don't want to waste any more of your time. Let's get straight into the video. So just to get straight into it, if you would like to do your brows, depending on how perfect you want your brows to look, I prefer if my brows are a bit more defined still, but I try to go easy on the filling in. So to each his own, however you'd like your brows to look, do them that way. Now the next thing that I would like to focus on is, of course, my skin. Now the three things that I try to remember when I'm doing a no makeup look is 1, priming, 2, evening out, and 3, defining. So when I talk of priming, I mean everything from your serum, your moisturizer, your SPF, and then your actual primer. Now for primer, depending on your skin type, if you're oily or you're dry, I would say use a hydrating primer like all over your face, and then you could choose to go in with a mattifying primer if you're really oily, just in the areas that are super oily, in your T, you know, the normal places over your nose. And if you're oily, then if you're dry, then the hydrating primer is enough and you don't need to do anything extra. After that, what I typically go with is a shimmer oil or a liquid highlighter, and I think Bobbi Brown has one, and I'm not sure if MAC has one as well. This is from Body Shop. It's just the shimmering oil in the shade Golden Honey, and all I do is that I place it where I would place the highlighter, so on the bridge of my nose and high points of my cheeks, and just a little over my forehead in this area right there, and really very little, because you don't want it to be too overwhelming, because again, it's an oil, so just be careful. Alright, so now the second step I was talking about was evening your skin out. And to do this, I would recommend that you use a skin tone concealer, or if you don't have a skin tone concealer, you could use your foundation, but very minimal. I'm using the LA Girl Pro Concealer in the shade Chestnut, and I'm just putting a little on my finger and dabbing it in the areas where I have darkness. So if you have any dark circles, if you have blemishes, you know, acne scarring or anything that is dark and you want to cover it, this is where you go in with a concealer and basically spot conceal, because again, we will not be going in with like a full face of foundation, so you just want to spot conceal in those areas. Let me pick up a small mirror just to even out the darkness. You could go in with a corrector, an orange one, but it has to be super subtle, maybe even peach, because like I said, since we're not going in with foundation, we're not going to be able to cover up the orange corrector. So skin tone concealer, or even something slightly darker, could be fine, is more preferred. And I'm just using my hands because it warms up the product nicely and lightly covers the blemishes. And then I'll just go over my nose in these areas. And also try and not use a very heavy concealer, because then it'll sit around, it'll cake if it's too much, because that's the only thing we're using. So just be careful. Then I'll go over this area around my mouth because it's always super dark. Just blend it out with my finger again. Okay, so after you've put your concealer in the areas that you'd like to conceal, I pick up a foundation brush with no foundation just to blend, and then pick up a smaller mirror just so I can be close, just to blend out the areas where you've put your concealer so you don't have any concealer lines showing. Okay, and just lightly blend so you don't again take off all the work you've done. Okay, so after that I'll pick up a spray. I think you could use any facial spray. I don't think you should use a setting spray specifically for setting makeup like the Urban Decay All Nighter, but I think at this point you could use your Fix Plus, your MAC Fix Plus, or you could use, I think the Morphe spray should be fine as well. There's a Caudalie facial mist as well. This is just to hydrate your skin, so that's all you're trying to do. So I'm taking my MAC Fix Plus and just not too much, but enough, spraying it on my face. Okay, because I'm going to go in with my face powder, and this is my compact powder, so I want my face to be slightly hydrated more than what I already did, so it's not like dry, and I also want my powder to have something to kind of stick on. Does that make sense? I hope so. It makes sense to me. Anyway, so using my Sephora Micro Smooth powder and a puff, I'll just kind of allow this to settle in, maybe fan it even, but not too much, don't let it dry out, and then press the powder onto that Fix Plus, just on your skin, basically just powder your skin. And this part of mine sometimes comes off orange on camera, so if it does, it does, I guess. What can I say? Just to caution you, when you're doing a no makeup look, your skin will not look perfect because you're trying to look like you have no makeup on. So some of the blemishes on your skin will definitely show through. This is not a full coverage tutorial. If that's what you're looking for, this will not cover everything. This will just make you look a little evened out, but still look like you have your own skin, if that makes any sense. So the powder that you're going with as well, like, don't go caking it on. It's just a light layer, and maybe just add in places where you feel you need a little bit of more help with coverage. Notice I'm not going under my eyes yet because I want to use a different powder. I prefer to use loose powder under my eyes because I just feel like it makes it less likely to break up and cake and all those things and crease. Now then I'll go under my eyes, over my eyes, over my under eyes. I'll go over my under eyes and blend out that concealer again. And then I will pick up a powder that is very close to my skin tone, a loose powder. It might not be super close, but it's close enough. Close enough. I'm using the Huda Beauty powder. It's cinnamon bun. Oh, this powder has quite the scent. And just a little under my eyes, and I'm looking up as usual, and then over my lids. I'm trying to apply as minimal. I'm trying to apply as little as possible. Yeah. The next step we're going into now is defining. So for defining, we are basically just trying to chisel out our cheekbones and not have a flat face. Again, very light-handedly, I'm taking my contour kit, my Smashbox contour kit, and I'm mixing the bronzer with the contour shade, and just right there. So for this step, you could use your bronzer. You really don't have to go in with your contour powder. Just a bronzer is enough. I'm mixing a bit of my contour with the bronzer and really lightly going over my face. What am I saying, going over my face? Creating cheekbones. Yeah, and just where you would typically contour in these areas. And my brush is a Smashbox brush that came with a palette. I like it because it's not too dense. Okay, it's dense, but it's not like together. So when I buff out the bronzer or the concealer shade, it kind of spreads it out, spreads it around. So I like that because then it's not harsh. And there goes my hairline being spoiled. Do as much as you want, whatever you prefer, depending on how much you want to look chiseled. And then next we're going in with the highlighter. Now with the highlighter as well, you want to be super duper light-handed. You don't want to do too much, but you can, because you look like the only thing you're wearing is highlighter. So it really depends on you. Whatever you prefer is fine. I prefer to be light-handed. I wanted it to look very subtle, and plus I put the glow oil underneath, so I'm just kind of trying to help it look more pronounced and to kind of raise my cheekbones slightly higher. But you don't really have to even do this step. You can skip it if you want. I'm going in with my Laura Mercier highlight. Oh, did I blind you? I did. I'm going in with my Laura Mercier highlight in the shade Seduction. This is a face illuminator. This is a really subtle, oh, did I say subtle? That doesn't look subtle, but it's really natural. I like how it just blends into your skin, and just with the same brush, using the very same brush. So again, if you're looking for a very full coverage, perfection kind of tutorial, you could check out my other videos. They're full coverage, I would say. They're much more when you want to look super like snatched and everything. So yeah. Just want to see how it looks and what to add. And sometimes I really go overboard with my highlighter as well, but you know, as long as you blend it out, you're fine. With this, I don't go over on my forehead because it's illuminated enough with the shape and the oil, so no thanks. I'll just leave it like that, and I'll just put it in this area. And then I'll pick up my foundation brush, which I always do, and blend everything. And as when you're done and you're satisfied with how your bronzer looks, then we can move forward to lips. Wait, no, not lips. We want to do eyes slightly. So for eyes, I go in with my Black Radiance. When I don't want to do too much to my eyes, this is what I do. I pick up the contour shade, why am I showing you my brush? The contour shade, this one right here, and I just put it on my lid, all over my lid, anywhere it can fit, just basically to bring dimension to my eyes. Oh, and you could use this also to contour if you want it to be super chiseled. If you wanted to show up, the Smashbox one is really subtle, it doesn't show up as much, so depending on what you like, you could use this. This is a really nice palette. All right, so now we're going to move on to the lips. For the lips, I would just line with a brown liner. I just want it to be light, so as soon as I'm done at the top, I will press my lips together to just kind of transfer it to the bottom, and then blend it out. I just want my lips to have a bit of definition, and then I will go in just with gloss. You can decide whatever you want to do. Go in with gloss. I'm using the NYX Butter Gloss in the shade, what shade am I? Praline. Is it Praline? Praline. That. And just a little in the center. This is really nice pinky nude. Spread it all around. And then if you want, after this, you could go again in with a setting spray. I'll use my Morphe Mist, just lightly. Just to kind of settle in everything together. And then I'll go into the eye. So for the eye, I would say take a black pencil, a black eyeliner, whatever. And we just want to you need to kind of tilt your head and hold the mirror in this angle so you can get, is this called the inner waterline or the upper waterline? I don't even know. So one of those, and just lightly go around the waterline, and then on your lower waterline as well. And just really subtly. You don't want to have too much at the bottom because we're not going in with eyeshadow. But I'll show you what we'll do. So line it all the way at the front. I don't know why I can't get to my front today. My eye is really twitching. I see people do their eyeliner with their eye closed like this, something like this. I don't know. I don't know how people do that. And then I will go in with my mascara, whatever. I really like this Maybelline mascara, especially this, what is it called, cat eye. This cat eye one, so good. Look at that, look at that. Can you see that? I don't know if you can see it on camera, but yo, it looks really good. You could do lashes if you want, but then I don't know, will it look like no makeup? It looked like no makeup with lashes, so if you want to go in with lashes, that's totally fine too. I will prefer not to go with lashes for today anyway. Look at that. Can you see the difference, honestly, between this eye and this eye? It's magic, this one. Let's go to this eye. So when you're done with this, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to set the eyeliner on our lower lash with the same powder that we used, or the same contour shade that we used on our lids, just so it's nice and set in place. Telling you, this mascara is magic. It's the Colossal Volume Express cat eye, the cat eye one. It has to be that one. I've tried the other one, I didn't like it too much. Maybe other people like it, but for me it wasn't the best. And the good thing with this, it doesn't what's the word? What is the word? Clamp. I don't find that it clamps, so I like that. So we're done with that, and I think a tip that I wanted to just mention, if you want, you could kind of do a baby wing in this area, which I'm not going to do, but I am going to kind of darken this, just this area right here, just kidogo. And I'll do the same on this side. Just kind of elongates your eye just a little bit. This is especially nice if you're going to put on lashes, because then it'll hide this area. Yeah, I think that's it. Don't pull it up too much. You know I like a wing, but don't make it too pronounced. That's it. So this is the final look. There's nothing much, I think, that could have been done. If you want your face again to be matte, you could probably powder a little more and maybe bake for a few minutes or even seconds, because you don't want it to bake too much and then look weird. But if you want it to be super glowy, that's how it looks. You'll probably need to powder a bit around your nose throughout the day. I hope you enjoyed this no makeup look, and I guess I'll see you in my next video. God bless you. Take care.